The 2026 summer transfer window hasn't closed yet, but Premier League clubs have already spent £2.14 billion, and they keep spending. So where exactly is all this massive capital flowing? Not just into starting 11s, into the bench. Let's put the numbers in concrete terms. Tottenham spent approximately £230 million during this summer transfer window. £92.5 million for Sandro Tonali, £85 million for Mateus Fernandes, £52 million for Jan-Paul van Hecke. This spending wasn't done to avoid relegation, it was done to build rotational depth capable of sustaining a 60-game Champions League marathon. On the Manchester City front, £116 million was paid to Nottingham Forest for Elliot Anderson, a 23-year-old talent who shone in an England shirt at the World Cup. But such a fee has now become the standard base price paid not for ready-made players, but for potential rotation players. What's more, another record was broken this summer. Intra-Premier League transfers. The money changing hands between clubs reached a full £785 million. The money isn't leaving the island. It's circulating within the league itself. But with every cycle, player valuations multiply exponentially. When Paul Pogba returned to Manchester United for £93 million in 2016, the football world considered it a market anomaly. Today, the £90 million bracket is the ordinary market rate paid not to sign an elite striker, but to poach a direct rival central midfielder from within the league. While the average transfer fee in the elite segment was £36.6 million in the 2024-25 season, by 2026, that figure has surpassed the £60 million threshold. So, what changed in 10 years? Just player quality or the entire economic model? To understand this spending frenzy, we need to look at two fundamental mechanisms. First, media rights. The combined domestic and international broadcast rights for the Premier League's 2025-26 season reached a staggering pool of £3.1 billion. Even the 20th placed team in the league earns more TV revenue than the established giants of Europe. Second, PSR, profitability and sustainability, and amortization accounting. Clubs aren't spending because they have to. They're exploiting regulatory loopholes and accounting advantages. The cost of a player bought for £100 million is spread over a 5-year contract, recorded on the balance sheet as £20 million in annual amortization. However, when you sell an academy-produced player to another club within the league, all the revenue gained is instantly recorded as 100% net profit on that year's balance sheet. The result? To avoid hitting PSR limits, clubs are generating artificial liquidity and balance sheet profit by conducting high-value transfer swaps and sales among themselves. So is this cycle a rational market expansion or a liquidity bubble ready to burst? Inefficient capital and the sunk cost. Bubble critics and financial analysts have a very valid argument. Take the Chelsea example. Since the consortium takeover in 2022, over $1 billion has been invested in the squad. Yet this spending has produced neither a league title nor consistent cup dominance. Football capital doesn't work linearly. When a player you paid £100 million for suffers a tactical mismatch or tears their cruciate ligaments, that money evaporates. When you want to sell, you can't offload the player due to their high wages, and an impossible-to-dissolve sunk cost remains on your balance sheet. On the flip side of the coin, there are cold financial realities. Premier League spending reached historic peaks in the 2025 and 2026 windows. But the critical point is this: spending isn't rising blindly, it's growing proportionally to club turnovers. As commercial sponsorships, global tournaments, matchday stadium revenues, and digital rights grow, clubs' revenue pools expand. When a club spends £100 million, if that figure doesn't exceed a reasonable percentage of total revenue, there is no technical insolvency risk. This isn't a bubble. It's the new economic equilibrium created by the Premier League's transformation into a global Super League. A special additional factor entered this equation in the summer of 2026, the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The 48-team mega-tournament spanning June and July zeroed out players' rest periods while creating a global open auction market. Players who delivered dazzling performances across 4 to 5 matches in the tournament were transferred on waves of instant hype. bypassing data analytics filters. The valuations of names like Elliot Anderson and Morgan Rogers peaked off the back of a single tournament performance. Clubs paid the tournament premium up front in order to overcome squad fatigue and meet fan expectations. So, where does the real structural danger lie? The danger is that even mid-table and lower league clubs are now forced to allocate transfer budgets that can compete with Europe's giants. Simply to survive. The £785 million circulating in intra-Premier League transfers shows that the system is creating a closed-loop prosperity. But this closed-loop ecosystem has completely severed the financial gap with the rest of the continent. Transfer fees that Serie A or Bundesliga champions can't match are ones that a 12th place Premier League club can comfortably put on the table. Is the football transfer market a bubble? Not in the classic sense of a crash bubble, because behind it lies a global consumption and broadcast industry worth billions of dollars. As long as broadcast revenues and global audience size continue to grow, transfer fees will grow too. In 2026, £100 million has become normal for rotation players. In 2030, it's entirely plausible that we'll be talking about £200 million substitutes. But the real analytical question modern football must confront is this: do these billion-dollar benches actually make the game tactically and aesthetically better? Or are they transforming football into a financial simulation won not by tactical ingenuity on the pitch, but by whoever best manages the cash flow on their balance sheet? Do you think this spending frenzy is raising the quality of football or imprisoning the spirit of the game within a balance sheet? Let's discuss in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. See you in the next one.